So let's say we have 3 sets of flowers in our scene, and there are also 2 light objects here. One of them is a red light, and another is a green light. Now, if we turn off the green light here, only the red light will remain active, and naturally, everything will look red. And similarly, if we turn off the red light and keep only the green light active, we will get everything illuminated only by the green light. Now, if we turn on both the lights together, they will mix up and make everything look yellowish because there are no restrictions. Both the lights are falling together on these objects, and we are getting an additive mix of the colors which is very close to yellow. But what if we want to illuminate our object selectively? Let's say we want this green light to illuminate only these 2 flower sets, and we want the red light to illuminate only these 2. We can do that using a feature called light linking. We have to first select the red light, and then in the Object Properties tab, we have to scroll down to the section called Shading. Then under this, expand the section called Light Linking. We have to create a new group here, and within this group or the box, we need to tag the objects that it illuminates. So we can drag and drop the first object into this box. Then we have to also bring the second set to this light group, and we need to ensure that both of these checkboxes are selected. Similarly, we have to select the second light, which is the green light, and then within the light group for this light, we have to keep only these 2 objects. So we'll drag and drop them like before, and this second light will illuminate only these objects if we keep these checkboxes selected. With this setup, if we now go to the rendered view mode, we'll discover that this first flower set is getting only the red light, and this last set is getting the green light. And the middle set is yellow in color because it is part of both the light groups. But we can also see that the floor did not receive any light at all because we did not add it into any light groups. So when we create a light group and tag some objects under the group, it affects only those objects. If we now bring the floor object and include it into this light group, which is for the green light, it will receive only the green light. Then similarly, let's take the red light group and add the floor. It is a bit slow as we are working in a rendered view mode. So the floor is now mostly yellow in color as we expect. But sometimes it can be cumbersome because you may have many objects and many collections, and this drag-drop method may not be very handy to do for each of them. So we have a faster method to do this quickly. We need to first remove these objects and make the light groups free, or just delete them and create a fresh new light group. Either way is fine. This second method is called the method of exclusion, which we'll now discuss. So we want that the green light illuminates everything except this first flower set. So we will rather select this one flower and drop it to this green light group, and then deselect this checkbox. It means it will affect all the objects in the scene except this one. Then similarly for the red light, we want that it illuminates everything except this third flower. So we will bring it to this red light group, and then mark it as an excluded object. Now with this setup, if we again turn on the rendered view mode, we'll see that it gives us the same result as in the first case. And it is also very easy to do because we are just working on the exception objects. In the next example, we will discuss about shadow linking. We have a table on a floor, and there are 2 light objects. Now we can see 2 different shadows of the table in 2 directions of the floor created by these 2 light objects. So let's say we want only one shadow here, maybe from the first light. That means the second light must not cast a shadow on the floor for the table. So it will somewhat look like this case where we have a single shadow, but we also don't want to miss out the light from this second light object. So let's enable this as usual and let both the lights reach our table, but the shadow will be created only by the first light. We have to select this light, which is light 2, and then in the Object Properties tab, we have to scroll down to the Shading section, and this time we'll expand the section called Shadow Linking. We'll create a new light group, or you can say shadow group, and add our table object here. It's very similar to what we did earlier. Then we'll disable this checkbox, which means the second light will cast a shadow for every object, except for this table. And as a result, we'll get here one single shadow. But the shadow does not look good, as it is very thin and unrealistic. This is because the light from this second light is not blocked. It is passing through the table and lighting up the floor, diluting the shadow from the first light. We want the shadow to be like this, even when the second light is fully turned on. In order to do that, we have to somehow restrict this light so that it can't reach this floor. We just learned that we could do this using light linking, so let's create a light group, in addition to the shadow group created earlier. Now we'll drag and drop the floor object into this newly created group for the second light, and then let's disable this checkbox. Finally, we get the effect we wanted. The table is illuminated as usual by both the lights, but the shadow is created only by the first light. So this is how you can use light linking and shadow linking together. Earlier was only for cycles, but now is available in Eevee as well. So I hope you like this tutorial. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel.